Hey, how's everyone doing today? Today we're going to be doing a working with LVM storage lab today. All right, so let's go over what the objectives of this lab will be. So we'll read this out loud. We've been tasked with creating a large logical volume out of the 2 disks attached to the server. The volume group name should be RHCSA. The logical volume name should be Pinehead and should be 3 gigabytes in size. Make sure that the resulting logical volume is formatted as XFS and persistently mounted at /mount/lvol. After that is complete, we should grow the logical volume and the file system by 200 megabytes. All right, so the first thing we want to do in this instance is use the tool called fdisk. That's the first one that we want to use. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to change this real quick. That way we can just have the steps now instead of having everything else. So we're going to delete this. We're going to make that smaller. Cool. All right, put that in the corner. Gives us more space. All right. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to create the physical volumes. All right, so we're going to use fdisk-l. What this is going to do, this is going to get the names of our disks. As we see here, we have xvda, we have one partition here. We have one xdf and xvdg. So this stands for Zen Virtual. So these are virtual disks because we're using Amazon EC2 or AWS EC2. And as you can see here, we have 2 disks that are available. So these 2 disks right here will be able to, create our physical volumes. So the first thing we want to do is use pvcreate. And then from here, we're going to do both of the ones that we just saw. So xvdg. And then we're going to do dev xvdf. So you can give it 2 disks at the same time or multiple of them. So when you do pvcreate, you're basically going to make this available to start creating volume groups on the disks. As you can see now, they created these 2 physical volumes because they're empty, there's nothing on them. So we did this, that way we're able to use them. Now the next thing that we want to do in this case is now we want to create the volume group. All right. So we're going to do vgcreate, and then we're going to do RHCSA, which is what it asks for. And we're going to do it on both disks, xvdg, and then we're going to do xvdf. So as soon as we did that, now the volume group is created on both of these disks. All right. One thing that's pretty cool that we can do is we can do vg list, or wasn't list, it was display. There it was. So we're going to do display. As you can see here, we have a volume group, and then we can see here how much data it has. It has about 10. As you can see here. So, but the funny thing about this one is the reason why we have that much, as you can see, there was 2 5 gigs, and both of these equal about 10. So you can see that both of these disks are attached to this volume group as we just did earlier. You can also do VGS. As you can see here, it gives you 2 physical volumes, so it means that 2 disks are attached to it. As you can see in this this volume group, there's no logical volumes, but we're about to create that real quick. All right, so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to do lvcreate-n. So this would be the name of the logical volume. It will be Pinehead. And then this capital L will be the logical volume we're going to give it. So it'll be 3G through 3 gigabytes. And then we're going to do it on RHCSA. So the way it works is that you have to do logical volume create, and then you give it a name, and then you tell it how big is it going to be. So we're going to do 3 gigabytes, and we're going to use the volume group name RHCSA. So at the end, you have to have the volume group because it's creating a logical volume from a volume group. As you can see here, now there's a logical volume that has been created. If we do VGS, we can see that one logical volume has been created already. Now this is the easy part. This is where we're going to format the partition. As you see, there's literally like nothing on it. It's empty. So we have to put a file system on it. So we do mkfs.xfs. So make file system, and then we do dot, and we pick the file system we want to put on there. And then now we got to go under dev mapper because it's created under here. Because it's basically mapping the physical volume to some logical volume. As you can see, that's why we have to use it this way. So the first argument is usually the volume group, and the second argument is usually, not argument, but I would say the second name in this naming convention. The first one is the volume group, the second is the actual logical volume. Once we do that, it's going to create a file system on there. Now we're going to clear the screen. Now we're going to do make directory /mount /lvol. That's what it asks for. So we're going to make a directory called lvol. So there's nothing in this directory. Now we're going to use the block ID. And the reason why we're using this block ID is so we can get this information and put it in fstab, file system table. So as you see, this is the one that we want. So we're going to copy this. Okay. Now we're going to do vi fstab. Now that we do this, you do Control I or Shift I, my bad. So let me go to the end of this so I can put it as a second line. I think it's GG, but whatever. Cool. So I'm going to make the same format as this. So this is the unique universal identifier, or the universal unique identifier. So this will basically, if anything ever happened with the disk getting changed or any issues, it'll always know which disk this is, instead of relying on on the device mapper and all that. So we can use this. So the next thing we want to do is put the actual directory that it's going to be mounted on, lvol, and then we want to give it what file system's on there. Then we do the defaults, and then we're going to do 00. Double check that. It looks good. So remember, the first part is the disk's UUID, and then where it's going to be mounted, what kind of file system it is, and then you just put the defaults. So we're going to escape. All right. And if you do ls block -d, as we can see here, you don't see anything mounted at the moment. So if we do mount -a, this will mount everything. And if we do ls-d, should pop up here. Wonder why not. Let's double check. Should be good. Technically speaking, it should be showing here, but I'm not sure why. Maybe I'm collapsed. Let me double check this. Okay, there it is. So the D is collapsing that data. So yeah, we can see here. So we have the root file system right here. And then over here we have the actual, here's a physical disk, and then we have the volume group, and then we can see here is the logical volume. You see is under mount lvol, and you can see it's LVM. This is the type of disk it is. There's 3 gigabytes in here. Now we're going to grow it. So the way you want to grow it, but remember with XFS, you can only grow, you can't shrink. So once you grow your XFS, you can't shrink it. So be very careful when doing that. So we got LV extend, logical volume extend. We do L, and then we do plus. So what this is going to do is going to add an extra 200 megabytes. You do M at the end. And then what we want to extend is RHCSA, and then pinehead. And that's the way you do it in this instance. We're going to press enter. As you can see here, it has changed from 3 gigs through 3.2. Now it's 808 extends. It's been successfully resized. All right. So it did it on its own. If you can't, you can do the -R or the -- resize fs flag. So -R or -- resize fs. You could use these flags when doing it, but it should do it automatically. Now, another way you could do it is xfs grow fs. You could do it this way too. All right, so this is after the command has been given. So this will basically extend it, but it's not gonna like extend the file system. This is just gonna extend the partition. So basically the partition will be extended, but this is actually helping with extending the actual file system on there. All right, and that's it. That's it for today's tutorial. Appreciate you guys watching, or today's lab, I would say. Thank you guys for watching. Please give me comments on what I could have done better. Maybe I said some typo or said something, but all of these videos, I don't really script them. I just kind of go along with the flow. So please leave a comment below and let me know what you want me to do next. And I appreciate you guys watching.